Well, it's random
Right,
too.
we're live.
You can you have
You
to
close the
do
door.
certain things to even unlock that part of it.
My problem is that the very first match, I ended up with a bad team, and exactly the thing I hate the most about that crap happened, which is we lost because we had two people on our team that couldn't even score more than 2,000 dang points. My first match, I made 4,400, and the highest anybody made was only 5,000 or something. So I was right behind them. Yet the friggin' we had two people out of our 5-man team that just bottomed out, and we got our butts kicked. And I immediately turned it off because I said I don't want to play PvP. I want to play PvE. Because if you don't have
Yeah.
a good team, you're just gonna get your butt kicked. You know what I'm saying? And that's exactly what happened.
All right, well, let's get started. Welcome to Dicejunkies. I'm Xenodamus. With us today, we have back.
Q.
Yeah, and then on Skype.
Bloodaxe.
The boys are back in
Yeah,
town.
you're back, man. You're back. You had a nice little trip, I hope.
Oh yeah,
welcome
see
back.
my baby.
All right. Not a lot to talk about today, so we'll probably depends on not a lot of news topics to talk about. We can talk, but we'll get started with one that.
It's because August and September are so jam packed full of meatiness.
Oh yeah.
Like this is the quiet before the storm of games where we're gonna be bouncing. You know, it's gonna be fun.
Yeah. But there is news that, honestly, most of us here had forgotten about.
All of us. All of us.
Yeah,
Here.
okay,
Don't even try
yeah.
that. All of us.
Oh, you're right. And that's news on the Borderlands movie. Yeah, man, I totally forgot about this thing. I think there was a trailer or something, or that image in June 2021, and then crickets.
Well, that might have been because of their original director, Craig Mazin, who does not have a great reputation with us for his vision.
Yeah, no, I mean, I remember when we actually first looked at this and we saw who was involved and who they were, and it was a really oddball cast of writers and producers, and we looked at a lot of their stuff, and we just sort of gave up on it from day one anyway. And so I really wasn't expecting a lot, and so when I saw this, I was like, huh? And I was like, the names sound familiar from somewhere, but, I wasn't sure, so we ended up looking them up before the show. But anyway, the point is they decided after the movie was at this point that they needed to bring in some help. And
reshoots.
And so Tim Miller came in with a new writer, Zach Alkowitz. And they decided to do some reshoots and, obviously clean up the script some and do some modifications. But apparently, whatever they're doing has pissed off Craig Mazin so much that he doesn't even want his name on the film anymore. Which to us is possibly a good sign.
That's a really good sign. And Mason's like, I don't want anything to do with this travesty.
Yeah.
You're like, good. That's a good sign. That means the reshoots. Here's why, though. That means the reshoots actually altered important parts of the story. And usually, in this year, God bless 2023, people are usually going back to unscrew up. Be nice, politically correct. Unscrew up some less than popular choices that may have not appealed to the fan base. Because we're having this post Bud Light, post Target, post all that. And I'm not saying who's right or wrong of those. I'm just saying, from a business perspective, post all of these bad financial results, people are trying to go back. So I'm hoping that this is a reshoot where they said, what do Borderlands fans want to see? That's what I'm hoping they did.
Yeah,
Now, Tim
maybe.
Miller's up and down, though.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. I mean, a lot of people have said, well, this just brought my low hopes down the rest of the way. But I mean, I'm trying to give it a positive look. One of the reasons I am willing to give it a positive look is Zach Olkowitz.
Yeah, not Tim Miller, it's more Zach Olkowitz.
He hasn't worked on much, but he has worked on something that does have a bit of a feel that would work with Borderlands, and that's Bullet Train. It was a movie, came out of nowhere. I don't know if it even hit theaters. I saw it on, I think, Netflix. And the thing is it was actually oddly good.
He just showed me the trailer, and I was telling my boy Bloodaxe, I said, dude, this is Borderlands 2 intro train scene vibes. It had it down to a T. And since he's the writer they brought in, and then they did reshoots, I think that they're trying to get that Bullet Train vibe. I'm hoping, because the thing about Tim Miller is, he worked on Deadpool. Yeah, he worked on Scary Movie 2, which I liked. But in me and Bloodaxe, I'm waiting to see if he's going to cringe here. But he also worked on Terminator Dark Fate. And, you see that look on his face. The Terminator Dark Fate's a bad black eye to have on your record. And the main reason why is just because it's the biggest example. It was one of the first of those movies where they came out and said, do you like Terminator? F you. That was what it was. Dark Fate is a literal F you to fans of Terminator. All of the Terminator. Just everything about Terminator. And that's a scary thing when you go, okay, is this Borderlands movie going to be an F you to me and Bloodaxe and Xeno? Because we're all Borderland veterans. Bloodaxe even went so far as to play the Tales from the Whatever version, which to me is not even really a Borderlands game, but not the first one. He didn't play the second one. The man's not trying to kill himself. But yeah, go ahead, man.
Yeah, no. It was the first one with Reese and you had Athena and several of the characters that ended up being in the pre-sequel. But looking at the cast, it could be a pig in a poke depending on how they go with it. But it's the writing that I'm most concerned with. Second, followed by the directing and producing. But with the shakeups, and when you brought it up, I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot that was even a thing, because we hadn't talked about it in 2 years. So because we were talking about the casting of Cate Blanchett as Lilith. And I'm like, I don't know about that one. I mean, she's done well in Lord of the Rings, and I really liked her as Hela in the Marvel universe. But we'll see how she does as Lilith. Lilith has a little more of a playfulness than what we've normally seen from some of her characters, but we'll see how that goes. But you're right. I mean, you have such an extreme between Terminator Dark Fate and Bullet Train. Now you're right. Bullet Train has the right vibe, and I saw it when it came out, when it first came out, and actually I was surprised at how well I actually liked the film, because it's one of the few things that kind of had me guessing throughout the whole movie. Because most things nowadays, you watch the first 15, 20 minutes, you've already figured everything out, and this one was good. So I enjoyed being surprised throughout the movie.
So you've actually seen Bullet Train?
Oh yeah, I liked it.
Okay,
yeah.
cool.
I want to see it. It's on my watch list.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw it, and I even told the missus to watch it, and she enjoyed it too. But yeah, it was one of those movies that, at first it's like, what are they doing? And then as you start going along, okay, this is a thing. All right. And for those of you that haven't seen Bullet Train, I'm not going to get into it, but the comedy and the way they set certain things up, and the fact that there were still things that I didn't have all pieced together by the end surprised me. So,
it was one of those, I decided to watch in the background and ended up watching it for real. So, because I throw a lot of random stuff in the background, for one, because I do this show, and two, I like to have some kind of background noise, and I don't want it to be something that I've seen 100 times. So, but yeah, I was surprised by it. It didn't do great. As far as the ratings go on the Rotten Tomatoes, I think it had a 56% critic score and then like a 76 audience score. But I could tell, I mean, it definitely was one of those movies where it was for a certain audience, I guess, which my cheesiness bad movie sort of radar clicked on and then really enjoyed it. So,
it seemed like it had a little touch of a slightly lighter-hearted Tarantino vibe.
Yeah.
It made me think of Kill Bill from the trailer, which caught my eye because I love the Kill Bill movies, which are oddball action movies but fun.
So I mean, if we can pull off that vibe, maybe Borderlands could be interesting. On top of that, one of the things the Kotaku writer pointed out, and you sort of mentioned, was the writers, and apparently there's been almost a dozen writers involved in this script. And now this script is supposed to be based off the first Borderlands, which isn't a very complex story.
Borderlands 1 and 2, because they got Krieg and Tiny Tina in it too, so they're hybridizing it. So it's not going to be very canon, but can it be fun and interesting to watch? That's the thing.
And honestly, I would have preferred they just would have kept it with the first one. If it would have, it also gives you the opportunity to do a 2 and a 3.
Because, with hybridizing this, you've used up 2/3 of your movies to pull for. Now you got his Borderlands 3, which is arguably... The DLC was fun. The main story was not good and would not translate well on screen. So they're burning, like you said, almost their whole... unless they just keep going original now.
Now, unless the reshoots and some of that maybe made that more of a guest appearance and decided, maybe they brought it closer. Who knows?
I don't know. There's no breaking Mordecai right now.
We have no clue what's going on other than there's been some rewrites and some reshoots. So,
but I will say
fingers crossed.
It's got to be better than it was under Mason. Okay, to put it in perspective, our expectations for Borderlands when Mason was on it was 0.
Yeah.
So it's got to at least get up to a 1 or a 2. Just because he's mad, that's +1. I'm automatically, it's out of 0 because it pissed him off. Sorry, it is. So, I'm more optimistic to see. Obviously, we're going to watch trailers, see what's going on. But reshoots these days are usually a good thing. I hate to say it, but because they're usually going back and going like, hey, that ending's terrible. We need to fix that. Instead of write it out. Now, it still may be a bomb. It could be an indie where they tried to reshoot and still couldn't make it tolerable. But at least they're trying. Yeah. Poor Indy. Poor little Tank. Poor Indy.
Oh, man.
Oh, Harrison Ford.
Yeah. All right, so...
that was her idea, right?
All right, so... let's... All right, I'm trying to move on here, buddy.
I want to hate so bad, though. It's like Jay Smith says, it's the hater's ball. I want to hate. I want to hate. But all right, we'll leave Miss Waller alone for now.
All right. Where were we? Oh, yeah. On the long, drawn-out battle of Microsoft and Sony, our Microsoft versus the government bribed by Sony.
Yeah.
Blizzard.
So as we were coming up near, honestly, Sony was going to probably fail on their thing anyway. Sony finally decided to agree to sign a 10-year Call of Duty deal with Microsoft. Basically, Microsoft saying, we're going to keep, which they were already saying.
Well, and honestly, that's the one thing I think the FCC or whatever I think they helped them with is that they kept going to court. Sign a 10-year deal if you're going to do this. And so Microsoft was like, okay.
Look, we have it right here. We'll gladly do it.
And the problem is that when you do that, you really screw up your stance when you go, you're not going to promise us the game. How many years you want?
Yeah.
10? Here's 10. There you go. Now what? And they're just like, oh, crap, they did it. It's like, we told you do it before. We told, they started out with that offer.
Yeah, it's like we said from the beginning it would be dumb for us not to.
No, they offered the deal. I remember them making announcements of willing to make a 10-year deal. Mm-hmm. But I guess they decided to write that mofo up and show up with it in print and go, see, this is where your name goes right here under assholes. Signed Sony.
Oh,
come on, I put that on the contract. I don't care. It would say a-hole sign here.
Well, I mean, it's one of this. This happened, I think, today or yesterday, like just recently, and I'm figuring it's because of this. Because a couple of days ago, FTC. Well, about a week ago, the FTC lost its appeal or lost its court against. So then they filed an appeal. They lost that. Then they brought it up and they were like, look, if we can't get an appeal, the court said we can't get an appeal. We think the court was too harsh and we want to look into the courts. And so because of that, we want you to do a mandatory pause on the Microsoft deal so we can fight this even further. And and the government was like, basically said, FTC, look, what is your fucking problem?
Well, what you just said, they're like, we're going to investigate the whole system. And it's like...
but yeah, so in more quote says, so you seem to be losing quite a bit, and I don't say that to be disrespectful, but these are, after all, taxpayers' funds. The court not only rejected your assertion of a likely anti-competitive effect, but found just the opposite.
Oh, what? It's almost as though Sony's the largest market of the largest share of the entire gaming market. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. The record evidence points to more consumer access. So why should Americans have faith in your judgment? And of course, then it gets political. Yeah, I'm not going to go any further. But anyway, the point is apparently they've been losing a lot of cases. They've been bringing a lot of stuff up. And of course, I think this is more of Microsoft getting in the middle of the FTC throwing a fit than it is anything about Microsoft.
Well, you said you looked into it, and there was a lot of FTC. FTC apparently has been attacking like crazy, and isn't just in the gaming industry. We just don't care outside the gaming industry, and apparently losing like crazy. You ever seen somebody just kicking up a fuss to get attention? That almost is what it sounds like they're doing. Yeah. But the main thing is that our boy here has been following it, and it looks like we're about to get it.
But yeah, so after this, the stocks went up on Activision. The stocks went up on Microsoft. There's been confidence reissued into this deal. There's still a little couple of things in the Europe deal that need to be ironed out. But where they have said, I think they put like an August date on it, Microsoft and Activision has claimed that they might actually have this done by the 18th, which was their original deadline. So that would be Tuesday, 2 days from the day we're filming this. So maybe next week show we'll have good news or bad news, depending on what side of this you're on.
All right, I guess you're gonna have to train us, man. You said you're the keyboard first person master. You're gonna have to help us get our Call of Duty. I tried to jump on Call of Duty, man. I got my cheeks clapped. I won't lie. I don't have them Call of Duty reflexes like I used to. I only did one match though. But I jumped on and I ran around. I got a couple of shotgun kills, but then I couldn't even get near anybody, man. Call of Duty is not a shotgun game. They were sniping me across the field.
Dude,
I'm running around like...
when it comes to these games online, this is a little different than what my shooter experience is, man.
It's okay. We're getting up there, man. Yeah. I get it.
No. I love the fast-paced shooters like Quake and Unreal and stuff like that were more of my... I will say, these military shooters... There's a lot of pros, and it seems like they're online a lot. And I've never been really successful in those either. So,
well, see, when I played Call of Duty Black Ops, there were a lot of indoor boards, so I had a lot of fun with the shotgun and melee kills. I would get up really high ranking. But I dropped into this last Call of Duty game. I was outside, and I was looking around, and people were zipping up balloons, and I was like, I looked at my shotgun and said, I don't have the right weapon.
Because, I mean... I would play, back when we used to grab our computers and take them over to each other's house, play on a local network, play some Counter-Strike or, something like that. But yeah, no, the massively online shooters, that's a whole new game,
maps, man. Yeah.
I mean, that's just like getting into the massive tournaments online and in the fighting games. That's completely different.
Once I hear somebody go like, that's 3 frames, I go.
Yeah. That's completely different than the local match down at the comic store or something.
Which I dominate those.
Yeah.
I mean, just to give another thing of how bad it went, dude. I got shot off my parachute before I landed. I was parachuting in at one point, and I got headshot, and I was just like, I didn't even land. I went up, I was coming down, I was like, all right, and it was just headshot. I was like, all right, you know what? You you got it.
You have to lean on those parachutes so that you get down to the ground faster.
No, I found a better strategy. So what you do is you reach over and you hit the button to disconnect from the game, and you load Gears 5, and then we go shoot the locust or horde or whatever they call now with Bloodaxe. I found that's a great strategy for getting the best Call of Duty match at my age is to log into Gears 5.
Oh.
Go shoot some dinosaurs, something.
But anyway, so it does look like the Microsoft Activision deal is back on track to being done. There was that moment a few weeks ago where we weren't sure.
Well, it looked like the FTC was going to be able to make him miss his date.
Yeah.
Which is still trying with this pause, because at this point, that's all they're doing. They know they can't. They're trying to pause it because they're trying to make the clock run out, which is childish. It's the old-fashioned, we don't have a legitimate argument, so we're just going to waste everyone's time.
Well, the thing is, I think...
And money.
I even think that date, the 18th, comes down to whether or not Activision wants to push it, because...
And Activision wants to sell, yeah. Activision will probably go like, because right, Activision can issue an extension and keep going, and they don't want Microsoft to lose interest. They don't want Microsoft to go like, you know what, we'll pay you the penalty and we're out. They don't want that. I mean, especially with the stock going up, just the idea this might go through increase their stock. Imagine how much the huge sale will profit. They'd probably burn the FTC down if they lost all that money. If I was an investor, I'm not saying I would, but oh my, look, it's on fire. I was over here. Here's my alibi. I was over here with my friends. I don't know who. I don't know who wrote Q was here on the side of the building and set it on fire. I don't know.
But yeah, no, it was just interesting to see. Apparently, the FTC has pissed off some people with all this stuff.
Well, I mean, they attacked the courts itself, which is always a bad idea. Criticizing the courts itself is something that you only want to do if you got a good reason. It ain't worth doing it over Call of Duty. That is a very poor strategy because you got to go back into those courts for everything you do.
Now, Flynn in the chat room actually did bring up a good a point about that 10-year deal. He mentions, devil's in the details. They could only make 2 games and support them for 5 years each. Apparently, Call of Duty's lifespan is about 5 years a game. I was thinking Call of Duty's cycle had been being pushed out a little quicker than that, but... Or that may be one of the other shooters.
But I mean, if it's a 5-year lifespan, though, you're still getting access. That wouldn't be any different whether you had this or not. I mean, the thing is, Call of Duty games have a lot of legs because, I mean, people are still playing Black Ops and Modern Warfare. So they have a long lifespan.
Yeah. So, I mean, right now we have... So Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War was 2020. Call of Duty Modern Warfare was 2019. Call of Duty Black Ops 4 was 2018.
Yeah, they've had a yearly release for a while.
So, they've been...
16, 17, 18, 19. Now, not all of them were good. The real thing that could screw over PlayStation is if the next 2 are the crap ones. Because Call of Duty tends to be crap, good, crap, good.
Well, and that's from what I understand. The current one isn't that great.
So it tends to be crap. Yeah, like I said, there tend to be huge gaps in the good ones. Mm-hmm. So they could end up not getting the good one and missing that whole window. But if that's the case, that's bad in general because that's 10 years of bad Call of Duty. But the thing is, though, it won't hurt PlayStation as much as it'll hurt Xbox if the next 10 years of Call of Duty suck. You know what I mean? So at that point, PlayStation has nothing to lose. They got 10 years where they'll have access to Call of Duty. If it sucks, Microsoft wasted their money. If it's good, PlayStation gets good in on it. This is a win-win for PlayStation. I don't even know why they were raising as much heck this long. In 10 years, Call of Duty may not even be as popular a game as it was now in 10 years. It may be dead. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's Call of Duty. It may be an expired game in 10 years.
Proper. But because Modern Warfare in 2019, Black Ops in 2020. So they've been doing one a year almost.
I don't see a gap at all. It's every single year.
Yeah.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12,
Yeah,
30,
the
40,
gaps.
50, 60, 70, 18, 19,
So like
20.
Black Ops 3 to Black Ops 4 was 3 years, or Modern Warfare to Modern Warfare 2 was 3 years. So it seems about 3 years between the different
Editions. But I mean, you get a Call of Duty, because this contract's for all Call of Duty.
Yeah.
There's probably going to get 10 freaking games out of that.
Now, I mean, honestly, with the way the last few Call of Duties have not been that hot, Microsoft could go spend a little extra time on those and then spread them out a little more, make it where it's only one every 2 years. You know?
I mean, that wouldn't be a bad thing. They ought to be better. Because the thing is, I mean, I don't care as much because Call of Duty's not my bag, but they need to make their money back. So, and let's be honest, so far, they've been having a bit of a rough time. Redfall kind of was a fall through. There was a couple of other games. Some of these IPs they bought haven't knocked it out the park. They're banking hard on Starfield, man. They're banking hard on Starfield.
I mean,
now, it is Bethesda, so it could be the next Skyrim, and it's the biggest game ever.
Yeah.
But if it isn't, it's going to hurt a lot.
Oh, yeah, dude. I mean, if Starfield bombs, it's
going to be bad.
It's going to be bad for Microsoft. But
if it's Skyrim's, then it's like going to be amazing for Microsoft. Just because, I mean, Skyrim was re-released a dozen times on everything, refrigerators, phones. I think they had light-up shoes you could play it on. I mean, they were doing the whole thing. Like, Skyrim was probably one of the biggest releases. So this is going to be really interesting. That's all I can say.
Yeah. I mean, Activision will definitely add a lot more. We'll add some sauce to Xbox, though, because Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 may not be the best game in the world. Tons of people are still playing it.
Oh, hell yeah.
And that's the thing. Most of Activision's games may not be the best, but they're all popular.
And there's a big thing. Game Pass really is great for injecting a player base into a game. Like, once something goes on Game Pass, a lot of people pick it up, which brings more activity, which could cause them to come back and start fixing it.
Here's the thing. If you're a Call of Duty fan, all right, you're talking about a $70 game, right?
Right.
If you're a Call of Duty fan and Call of Duty gets on Game Pass, all right, I'm spending, what, $12, $15.
That's if you're on Elite on PC. Yeah, it's only like $9.99 for regular.
So $120 a year. So now if I'm a Call of Duty fan and I'm spending $120 a year for the Game Pass and I get the latest version of Call of Duty, that means I'm only chancing on what, $40, $50 that there's. So is there $40 to $50 more value for me in having Game Pass? So that could bring a lot of people over to Xbox.
Also, if it does like some, what was the other one? The other one, they put a whole catalog of games. If you get all the Call of Duties, that's immediate value because you're going to get the good Call of Duties. You're going to be able to go Modern Warfare, Vanguard, Black Ops, and go hop around. It may really increase the Call of Duty activity.
Not to mention that a lot of times the Game Pass throws in some extra DLC, like some you get the camo bulletproof vest with as well and stuff like that. So there's a lot of things that they can do to push these fans into Xbox without having to make it exclusive. I mean, like I said, it's sort of dumb to make it exclusive when I can just slowly pull people over.
Well, also on the live service every month, Bloodaxe, I know you grab them every time. They do all kind of cosmetics for all their online games. They're always putting out Destiny and ESO. And see, we're not big into that. Bloodaxe is a little more than the rest of us. He's a collector. He's a completionist, though. But, like, Call of Duty people love their freaking cosmetics, man. They love their cosmetics because that's very important. And if they're sitting out there giving out cosmetics, monthly events, I mean, a good example is there's still a decent player base on Gears of War 5. That game is old as spit. But the reason it is because it's on Game Pass. And guess what? You get everything. You get all the DLC. All the DLC. You get the Hive Busters, right, Bloodaxe? You get Hive Busters. You get all the characters, almost every character unlocked. They permanent double XP has been going on where you always do double XP. That stuff is a lot of legwork. I'll let our boy get on this because he's the real big. He does the gears. He's our Game Pass completionist, man. What do you think of this?
They in the chat room talking about Skyrim underwear.
Yeah, I don't.
You can play Skyrim on your underwear. You didn't know that?
Oh,
That's
in the latest release, huh?
Yeah, I guess it's better than Batman underwear.
Tiddlywinks and Skyrim.
What Q's trying to explain is the perks that you get with Game Pass, where you get, maybe this month you get Disney Plus free for 30 days, or hello. What was I saying?
You talk about the perks you get from Disney, the monthly perks that Game Pass also gives out.
Oh yeah. Or you get free skins or some other content that's only available from Microsoft. So yeah, I mean, there are some cosmetic perks, but it's nothing that is going to break the game. But if I know I'm going to get some extra stuff, why not? But the thing I'm more interested in, as opposed to Call of Duty, is some of the other Blizzard content. Can we revive a StarCraft? Will there be a Warcraft that's going to be a single player game, or even something that we can play together as co-op from the Warcraft catalog? So there's my excitement is not Call of Duty, but I know that's got a rabid fan base. But for some of the other content, and if they keep going with the way they're doing with Bethesda and allow us to get it on Game Pass, that's just one more game I don't have to drop $60 on. So
every time we get a game that we might have bought, man, you get your Game Pass pays for months of it. It's months every time it happens. Like Liza P is going to be for me, and Starfield. Oh man, I mean, I'm still probably going to eventually purchase Starfield if I can't mod the P. Starfield's a game I'm probably going to download on both my Xbox and my PC. There's a possibility I have it going, but it's something I probably will purchase if I needed to be able to mod it after I played through it a few times. But still, I would have bought it, and I probably would have bought it again, you know what I'm saying? So money saved. Liza P would have bought it. I save money. Every time. No, Redfall, I might have bought, and I'd have been pissed. I'd have lost money on Redfall.
Oh, I know.
We would have lost because I really was looking forward to Redfall. I would have bought it. There was nothing else out.
I wouldn't have bought it like day one, so I think I would have been safe. But I
was bored.
I will say, I mean, Starfield, yeah, I would buy it day one. Liza P probably would have bought it day one. So those two that hit in September. That's my year of Game Pass right there.
He's not wrong. I mean, that is it. And I mean, look at me. I played some of y'all did. I played Wolong. I played Wolong all the way through and beat it because it was a Chinese Dark Souls. And I probably would have considered buying it because it's what I like to play. Didn't have to. So I saved time. And then, oh my God, the number of games I get to test and not waste money on.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Did you ever test that fairy?
What?
The sword.
Oh, sword and fairy.
Yeah.
Not yet. I've been modding Skyrim and Fallout 4. Bethesda. You just go back to Bethesda, man. I had it downloaded, and then I decided that Diablo 4's next season comes out in a few days. So it'll still be there. It ain't going away.
Yeah.
But an example is that I have that option. I have that option. You
I just know
a little Sididdy.
I just know you kept mentioning the game. So.
I know. But yeah, you're the one that told me the reviews. He was like, man, I heard it's not there. I'm like, oh, well. Let me get ready to do my necromancer. I went and got all my Lilith altars. Got that done. I did work. Game's like freaking Diablo's like a side job. It's so much work.
Speaking of Diablo, I mean, I know you've been keeping up with the Diablo gossip, I guess is the best way to put it, because it sure as hell ain't news.
It's madhouse, man. There's so many wild claims back and forth. Everybody's saying big nerfs, big buffs, big this. It's all over the place. I mean, I'm excited for the season because the season looks like it's going to be interesting with the Malignants. How interesting? It's hard to say because the numbers are changing constantly. The number of legendaries, the number of uniques they're adding. Are there class-specific malignants? Are there not? Now they're saying there are, but how many? So it's, I mean, if nothing else, Diablo's doing a great job of having everybody spinning in place. You know what I'm saying? Not sure heads or tails. Everybody's talking about the 1.1 patch right now, but nobody knows what's in it. They're all guessing. And I'm like, why don't y'all wait and get some dang information? I'm tired of getting a new video every hour that claims something different.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many headlines with Diablo, and so many of them are contradictory that it's just, you know.
But, I mean, that's good rumor mongering, you know. That's how you
Diablo
get it.
4 will nerf your best builds in Season 1.
There are claims that there's nerfs incoming, but how do we know it's just not all going to be on the Barbarian? Nobody cares about that.
Yeah, Diablo 4 players want one status effect removed from the game.
The webs? The webs are annoying. The spiders are really annoying. But
what do these people claim? Let's see what they claim. Vulnerable? What? Yeah, apparently it's vulnerable.
Well, because some people have a lot of access to it and some people have almost none. And it is really powerful. I don't think that means it needs to be removed because that'd be a large damage debuff.
I mean, somebody wrote it in a forum somewhere, and so they decided to write an article that everybody wants it gone.
Just wait 2 days.
I mean, dude, come on. We know how news with this game works. That's the point. The point is don't trust anything until this thing happens.
Tuesday.
Yeah.
Tuesday. Just wait.
Yeah,
till Tuesday.
Well, even then, I think Tuesday is when the patch hits, so you'll know what's in the patch, but you still won't know what's in season until Thursday.
But you'll know the nerfs, the buffs, and if they remove vulnerable, which would dramatically
they're not going to
alter
remove
class
vulnerable, and there wasn't even any expectation to remove
I know,
vulnerable.
that's
They were
what's
just
dumb,
claiming that people wanted it removed.
I bet those people play in the wrong class, that's why. Tell that to a bone spear necromancer, and you're going to get cussed out.
Hey, how to get the frostburn gloves, man.
Well, speaking of gaming, isn't there somebody out there that's got a interesting new orc coming on?
New orc?
Pathfinder 2?
Oh.
The
I got you. Yeah. I mean, I don't know how interesting it is. It's one of those things where apparently the creators of Pathfinder have are planning on releasing their own version of sort of the OpenGL. Now, this is something we already knew about because they actually mentioned it back when the whole OGL controversy was about, and they said they were going to work with a third party to try to make it. But apparently more news on that has come out. It has, from this, Pathfinder's answer to the OpenGL, dubbed the Open RPG Creative License, has been completed and released for public use, so it is out now. So if you want to take a look at that, they've published it on their site. Definitely not OGL bad.
I think it's pretty good.
Yeah, well, I'm just any time these licenses come out, I'm always trying to. I haven't had time to sort of read through this. I always figure there's something in there that's gonna fuck me. You know, I just don't trust Pazio. I don't trust or Paizo, however you want to pronounce it. I don't trust them. I mean, I used to. Don't get me wrong, but I will say, lately, I feel they're less trustworthy. A lot of the stuff they've pulled in the last few years has been shaky.
They made a few bad calls.
Yeah. So I'm going to have to sit down and actually read through this before I can actually say whether or not this is good or bad. But it's out. I missed it. It apparently came out last week. And I missed when it came out, or, you know, like 2 weeks ago or whatever. But because I missed it, I figured some of y'all probably missed it too if you're interested in it. So it's there. Check it out. You know, let us know in the comments what you think about it. We might let you know next week after I actually read it on what I think about it.
Yeah, well, just talking on the idea of if ORC becomes a primary thing, I've tried to absorb a lot of different books, third parties and stuff, and I'm going to tell you the truth. 5e is the least interesting source for third party. Like, it just does not allow for the full creativity I saw with 3.0, 3.5. Thus, I would like to see Paizo's Pathfinder and Pathfinder 2e become the baseline. Because I just don't think 5e honestly, has legs.
Before I can say that, I want to see, because they got the rewrites of the Paizo books coming out in a couple months.
Looking forward to that.
So I really want to see those before I say that, because second ed Pathfinder wasn't that great. I'm hoping they cleaned it up some. I'm hoping they made it.
With third party, though. Third party tends to take the system and then they make their own spell. Because, dude, let's be honest. You know what our problem is with 2E. Their magic system sucked. They screwed the pooch on its magic.
I will say, dude.
But the classes were great.
I mean, we saw the Anima guys, or was it Anima or no Besem guys. We saw the Besem guys do an Anime 5e. And honestly, I will say, if Pathfinder would have had their open license before that,
would have been way better
with all those with all the labels and stuff that's in Pathfinder. I think they could have done a better job with Pathfinder. So maybe it will bring some good stuff, but at the same time, it's Paizo, man. I don't know. We'll see.
Well, maybe to say that is that, like, as somebody who has some of the third-party books, who has 5e, and I've looked into some of the other alternatives, they just end up feeling like 5e. Like, they can't seem to get any uniqueness or their own flavor. It's a very dominant taste 5e has, and thus, everything just looks like you're changing the description of 5e. Whereas I used to see books, man, like I had Blood and Sword and all these 3.0 books that were very different. They felt like their own thing. And I think 2E's got the flexibility for it if they allow people to get in there and
yes and no. I mean, they lost a lot of their flexibility, dude. I mean, we saw
compared to the first edition. Yeah, by far.
Well, I mean, and that's where that uniqueness comes in. Look at the Monsters Manual and how the monsters are built. It's not as broken down and as it was in the first edition, or in the past D&D editions before 5e. So it lost some of the ability to do the really cool customization without just sort of going out on a limb, which was fine. I mean, when we do stuff, we just go out on a limb. We don't care.
But I used to sit down in the lab with it, though, boy, and get the numbers.
Well, no, when it's there, yes. But when it's not there, I'll break a rule. I don't give a shit. But when you're doing a third party, you're trying to keep inside the system, and so when there's not defined, when it's not as broken down into the pieces as well,
it's guesswork.
It's a lot of guesswork, yeah.
And honestly, that's why I have to admit it. I'll confess. I pick on 5e because the parts of 2e I like the least are the parts that remind me of 5e. And one of my biggest problems with Paizo, and let's let the elephant in the room be out. My biggest issue with Paizo is that Paizo's second edition felt like they were kind of also trying to be more like 5e,
yes,
which I thought was a massive mistake.
Mm-hmm.
We could forgive the original OGL and the resemblances, but you just can't keep copying D&D. And yeah, there are some distinctive differences to 2E. That's why I like it. But there are parts that resemble 5E, and they are the worst parts of 2E.
Yeah.
But the thing is, a third party could take that out. It is removable, though, because 2E is not founded on those similarities. It's that they have their own action system, their own action economy, and their own class system. Which means if you take out their magic and a couple of other backhauls, and like you say, we're not even going to try to explain how our monsters work or what's the scaling. Because you are true. I don't know how it would increase a monster's abilities in 2E, just like in 5E, because they just put whatever the heck they want on a monster. They just go, give it this. And it used to be, no, this is a CR 1/2 ability. This template that does this. You know how to build what you're trying to do. You know how to, I want to turn this creature to a draconic creature. oh, I've got an idea and where that's going to change it. And they even had scaling. Well, if this hit die, this is what a Draconic should be versus this. All that compartmentalization, all of those, those punches.
And when we saw all the templates, that added certain
fun.
So there was a lot of stuff there, and they lost a lot of that. So that's my only thing, not to hark on this or downplay Paizo, but
And Bloodaxe, we'll let him go. Bloodaxe really likes to build his unique encounters. So I know he's got to be. He loves first edition because, he's one like me that he'll sit there and be like, oh, I'm about to build this creature. I'm about to get in the lab. And then 5e, they're just like, oh, just make up something. And you're like,
yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you're not wrong. But yeah, I used to roll monster stats for certain encounters and stuff, and slap class levels or templates on my monsters, and I was disappointed with second edition. Pathfinder came out because we were playtesting it, and you were trying to play a wizard, and there was nothing really scary about the wizard. And
I never felt so weak as a magic caster, dude. That was the worst experience I've ever had. Both 5e and 2e were the worst spellcaster experiences I've ever had as a wizard class. Yeah. It was terrible.
And I'm playing my second 5e game right now, and neither of the first two game groups, no one even played a wizard. No one even played. The only spellcasters were can't and we have two of them in both games. So that kind of gives you an idea of
you can't even get in as a second string spellcaster.
Yeah. So I am kind of curious to see what doors it opens up, because I'm pretty sure that WotC has burnt several bridges with the shenanigans they did earlier this year, and see if anyone's even willing to kind of get into the orc license with Pathfinder or not, because all because they said they won't make any changes don't mean that people aren't afraid that they might do it anyway. So we'll wait and see what happens. But I do kind of miss some of the all 3.5 content, because we had Sword and Sorcery, we had Legends and Layers, and so there were several other books, and the whole Ravenloft content was from a third party. So we'll stay tuned and see how that works its way out. But something has to fill the power vacuum that WotC has vacated with what they've done to the current gaming market for the tabletop.
Agreed, absolutely. And I mean, that's going to be a big factor. Is going to be sitting up there and being like, are they going to change it enough to draw people in? And I know what Xeno's doing. He's not wrong. Like, after the OGL, it's just natural to be nervous about using somebody else's content, even with their permission. Now, I don't think Paizo, while they have screwed up, they never went full WotC. You know the rule, never go full. They never went full WotC. But now they did stick toes into it. They did go like, we're going to remove all of this because it might be offensive. Little toe over here. Or let's stop calling it this because that might be. But they didn't go like full on like, Space Monkeys, just all on like WotC. WotC dove face first, rubbed the face in the crap, and then tried to kiss you. Just gross. Paizo, though, was sticking toes in the bad calls. And honestly, I'm kind of getting tired of them being watered down. D&D is like, come on, man, step out there. You've proven you can write. Divorce yourself a little bit more from the D&D system. Divorce yourself a little bit more from the WotC stupidity. Stop always being like, well, we're like them, but a little bit, just going to do a little bit of that. I would like to see this rewrite be a little bolder. Go out a little further, shake it up. But the way they're talking, I think they may just be cleaning it up and not shaking it up. We'll see.
Yeah.
I'm optimistic for a shake-up. We may just get that they changed a few names and removed a little bit to try not to be able to be vulnerable to the OGL. We all know it's coming back. We all know WotC's going to pull that again. Especially once they get desperate enough they don't care about the feedback. When they start really losing money and they get desperate, they're just going to go all in. And they're not going to care. Because every corporation or company, when it's going down in flames, always burns all their bridges. They always do. They always set it all on fire. I don't know why, but they go all in. And I expect that they're going to go all in. They're going to try to scrape every penny, extort everything they can on the way down. And that's why I'm like, Paizo, divorce yourself from this bad scenario. Be a little bit more unique. Stand on your own feet. Or, the anima people need to hear him get me my translation out. We found out they still exist. The good news is that the company that bought Anima Beyond Fantasy is still technically a business. They just released a PDF of the main book. So maybe they'll get me the core Exit 2, the second edition rules, and then I'll never roll a D20 again. I'll be done. I'll be done with D20s when that happens. I look forward to the day. I love my silver D20. It's earned its time, but it was betrayed like me. It deserves a good retirement. And I'll retire that D20. I'm going to put it in the case on the mantle. And it's going to be Anima all the way, D10s, World of Darkness, we're done.
Yeah, well, what are we going to do about that, though?
Turns into a D10, Negro. D10. I had to put a D10 in the mouth. Hey, you know what? No. That's legacy. That's referencing.
Okay, yeah.
In fact, a skull is appropriate for watching. I think that's a great post-mortem. That becomes
All right. Well, let's we'll finish up this one with new season of anime. The summer 2023.
See his eyes glaze over.
Look, man, you've been talking about wanting to know if there's an anime that would be good for you. So maybe when we go over this list, you'll see something. You'll be like, I might try that one.
Yeah.
I mispronounced Isekai last week, so that kind of gives you an idea of my understanding of anime.
Dude, look, Isekai is a specific genre. I can understand you not being into it,
No, I mispronounced the word.
Well, yeah, I mean, he does it all the time. It's fine. It's the Dicejunkies tradition.
I don't mispronounce that. I mispronounce names.
You mispronounced just did.
I mispronounce names.
He literally said, I don't mispronounce.
That's just mumbling. That's not mispronouncing.
I'm sorry, you just mispronounced.
I did not. Anyway, let's get started on this. So Jujutsu, man, this is I know this one, the second season has started for the summer 22 and 2023 season. How you feel about this, man? I know you were big on the first season.
Talk about me or him?
You.
We were looking at him.
I was looking at the camera.
Jujutsu Kaisen is a anime about an exorcist. That's the core of it. It's a world where there are these demons that are spawned from negative emotions. People can turn into them. They attack people. And there's exorcists. The main character, though, is an interesting example of one of those characters that's got the famous anime. He's cursed with awesome. But it's fun. It's martial artsy. It's supernatural, fighting demons. It's a fun show. I'm very much looking forward to it. We're letting some episodes build up. We like to consume 2 or 3 episodes a city. So what we'll do is we'll grab 4 or 5 animes, watch this one that has several episodes, let another one build up, watch 2 or 3 episodes of that. So we're letting this build up, but we are excited to watch this one. This is one, Bloodaxe, that you could actually enjoy because it's high action, high combat, doesn't do a lot of talking. Like, it gets into the goods pretty good. And the main character is pretty fun. So I think that could be one that might be able to keep your interest long enough for you not to go to sleep on it. Maybe. Sort of.
Maybe.
I mean, at least it's action, and they're not trying to tell you like a historical story or slice of life.
Next up, we also have another second season, and that is of the Jobless Reincarnation. Now, this one is one that I will go ahead and do a warning. Do not watch the dub.
Oh, this is that one. Oh,
yeah. So if you look, it is marked ecchi, and it is a bit ecchi, but it is horribly. I mean,
it's way worse.
It feels so much worse dubbed. Yes. Yeah. It has a lot of good world building. There's a very interesting magical system with magic, but I will say the amount of ecchi gets to me because I'm not that big into ecchi.
Well, you've watched a lot more than us. The first episode wasn't too bad, but it's definitely there.
Yeah.
The reason we caught this, and this is one Bloodaxe I could tell you a little bit about, is that like we were commenting at the time on Harry Potter and how, as much as we like the Harry Potter movies and books, they don't explain their magic very well, you know? It had a different story to tell. This one really gets into how the magic works, and if you want to watch a mage go from level 1 and on up the tree, I was really excited watching him progress and learn the magic. It was really well done. So if you like the idea of how does your magic work, how does a guy start learning magic and going through the system, if you don't mind a couple of points where it's like, dude's definitely guy has his pervy moments. Nothing too extreme so far for us, but we've only watched like a couple of episodes, and apparently Zeno says it gets etchier. Yeah. It gets etchier, but the magic is what caught my attention.
It's one I actually read the novel of, and I really enjoyed it because of the world that it built. But when you read a novel of something, you can skip over a lot of the weird stuff like that and it not ruin the novel. Yeah, it's harder. It's harder to skip past it when you're watching an anime. I will say the voice actor for the dub turned the sorry POS pervert like closet junkie up to 11, and so watch the dub and you can get past it a lot easier.
No, sub. Watch the sub. Watch the sub, and then you can ignore the ecchi moments. But I will say, for magical systems and going through, hey, this is what it's like to start learning magic. I was very invested,
and
in
it
that
does
part
do
of
a good age progression. It starts off with the guy as a baby, and the second season should get to him being pretty much an adult. So I think by the end of the first season, he'll be a early teen probably.
Well, I see already what looks like an adventure or academy uniform, which means he probably doesn't spend too much time in the kid phase. But if you like magic systems, you like fantasy systems where where a guy progresses through the system.
The point was that it has age progression. It's not one that gets stuck on a short period of time. It actually goes.
It's not quite that other one we're watching where dude is really young and he went through the whole first season as like a 12-year-old.
Let's see. The Blood War continues. For Bleach, I've got to get caught up on that eventually. Looks like the Eminence in the Shadow got a second season.
I don't think that's one of the ones we watched yet, is it?
No, it's one I read. Eminence of the Shadow is basically where dude is it goes back and he's pretending to be a guy working in the shadows, but he doesn't realize he actually is being a guy working in the shadows.
That's the one where he comes up with the whole.
He has a full female shadow organization.
That's a comedy. That's a comedy one where the guy's imagination is not as wrong as he thinks.
Yeah, he tends to be right on almost everything, and he thinks he's just pretending.
Right. Well, that was what else we got. We watched a few other things.
Let's see. What do we watch? So. We didn't have time to watch the new Rurouni Kenshin. It is on our list. There was where's this? The Seven Spell Blades. We watched the episode of that. That one was interesting.
Jury's still out, I think, on that one.
Yeah. I remember reading this one, but I obviously didn't get that far. So I'm a little concerned on whether or not we'll keep that one on our watch rotation.
Q's take on that is tone whiplash. Like, we can't tell what it's supposed to be. You ever had that anime where it's just like, from one scene to the next, you're not sure what they're... Because, I mean, it swings like it wants to be dark. Then it swings to like, do. It's a lovely day. Let's walk in the park. You're just like, yo, what are we watching?
This is like the most dangerous Harry Potter...
Oh, yeah, like, we thought Hogwarts was bad. This school has no rules. The first speech they tell you is, Good luck surviving the
Yeah,
7 years here.
Only 80% survive, which honestly is actually a better survival rate than some that we've seen.
Not really. Well, okay, yeah, but those are actually not schools. Those are death camps.
Yeah.
Like they're.
Well, no, I'm thinking more probably cultivation type academies.
Cultivation
academies have a really low survival rate.
But like for Hogwarts, a 80% survival rate is bad.
Am I actually the strongest? This one is lighthearted, but the main character has some gall. He does take care of business. So.
Oh, yeah, that one is a wild way it started. That's a fun one. If you like a powerful MC.
Definitely OPMC. Like from a baby. OPMC.
Literally from a baby. Like... This mofo told little baby Clark Kent to hold his beer.
Yeah.
Like, what you lift to the truck, man? I'm fighting demons from my cradle.
Where everybody else's volume, goes up to 10, you go, oh, his goes up to 11. No, his goes up way past that.
The highest power level in the world for magic is 77. They think he only has a 2.
Yeah.
Because they don't have enough digits on their measuring devices. Yeah, I won't even tell you the number. I'll just tell you, it's not 2. It is over here. Yeah. He's not just OP. He's OP off the charts. Yeah. It's fun.
I mean, more than 10x OP. So.
We did the math. Yeah, he is more than 10 times powerful than 77.
Oh. So that one's interesting. I think we'll continue to watch that one. Oh man, a lot of these we're just not interested in. We tend to do the fantasy, and I didn't even see that one.
What, Hellick?
Yeah. Some of these may not be on Crunchyroll too, because this is a list of everything in the season. I mean, we're running late on time. Is there any of them you want to bring up?
That's the cleric one. The cleric one was pretty good too.
Oh, the cleric one's really good. I've read the book on that one. I think that one's going to be a blast.
I think Bloodaxe will like that. Now he's a cleric player, and this dude does cleric right. Like he does cleric right.
I will tell you, they ain't seen the half of it yet.
He keeps telling us it gets way better.
It is, he is badass.
This one's fantasy.
So I will say the great cleric I'm really looking forward to. If they keep it up like the books did, I've read like 10 of the novels on that one so far. So
Hell's Paradise is on there. Flynn's asked about it. But I'll tell Bloodaxe about it. Like, dude, it's fantasy. It's an interesting way he's doing his magic, but like he does cleric correctly. He plays a Bloodaxe cleric because when he picks his abilities, one of them is martial arts, like able to fight. He plays a fighter. You know how you play combat clerics? He goes combat cleric. Like, he goes combat cleric, and this is just in the episodes we've seen. He goes combat cleric. He finds a dude that says, teach me how to fight. You know what I'm saying? And like, I got to be able to fight if I'm going to heal anybody. Yeah. And he grinds, and I just said, that reminds me, because Bloodaxe plays combat clerics. I said, that's a Bloodaxe cleric. Yeah. That's
No Hell's Paradise. I'm not familiar with that one.
Oh, I'm curious what that one is.
Yeah. And then I think the other one was the OP at level 1, which is going to be
a weird drop one, yeah.
Yeah, where he starts it off, my unique skill makes me OP even at level 1. This one is a world where everything is based off of drops in dungeons, basically. And he gets isekai'd to this world
in the weirdest way I've ever heard.
Weirdest way possible. I'm not going to say, but
it's funny. It's the point of the story.
But yeah, he does get isekai'd into this world, and he does a very. It's an interesting world. It's a world where everything's a drop. They don't produce things here.
Yeah, they don't. I don't think they have any farmers. They just go fight monsters to get common food ingredients. Like the monsters drop carrots and
bean
leaves.
Sprouts.
They drop the food even. So it's like, wow. And I guess I won't spoil them because that's a big plot point. But he's got a interesting ability. They say he's OP. He's not in the first few episodes.
He's not. He doesn't start off OP.
Yeah, he didn't. He ain't the baby. He ain't the baby from the other one. He ain't just like, oh, I'm already there. Like, I'm curious. In fact, honestly, I was kind of waiting for him. I'm like, dude, go grind some more. Come on. You know how your ability works. You You know us, we would have been like, go grind.
I will say,
see, Bloodaxe, you'll like the cleric one because he grinds. He grinds from the beginning.
oh, dude, no.
Yeah, he starts grind. Oh, we haven't even seen the grind?
You ain't seen the grind
Oh, okay, because he looked like he was grinding. He went in that room and he was like, how many times I got to cast the spell to level it up?
Oh, he brings grinding to a whole new
I'm looking forward
level.
to this. I love a good, I love meta. So he's a gamer. He's a gamer. See, you could get into that.
It's
anime.
a bit of an unintentional grind, some of it, but yeah, he is a gamer when it comes to grinding, and he does a lot of it on purpose, but he finds out some of it on accident. Anyway, it does look like an interesting season. There are some interesting stuff that came out. We've pointed out a few. What's your favorite thing that came out this summer? Another thing you can drop in the comments, let us know. And that's where we're going to wrap it up, guys.
We're not going to find out what Hell's Paradise is?
I mean, we'll check it out. He said to check it out. It's not on the list. It's not on this season. So, I mean, do you want me to Google Hell's Paradise?
Hey, look at you catching on. I just want to get a look to see, like, what's the theme.
Let's see. It came out last season.
Yeah, 2023. I just want to know what's the theme. Oh, it's an... Oh, no. Is it going to be on Netflix?
It's, yeah. Where is it? It says watch. It's on Amazon.
Oh, okay. We got Amazon Prime. Ish.
So.
We'll check it out and see. Because, I mean, we could usually trust Flynn and point us in a good direction. What do you think, Bloodaxe? Did any of those catch your fancy at least? Like maybe the Cleric's Paradise, since it's actual fantasy?
The clerics, maybe. I kept waiting for a good mecha to pop in because you know me and
this
mechas.
season's dry, brother. I know. I'm sorry.
Dude, there hadn't been any really good mecha in a while.
The supernatural, if it wasn't a bunch of hand-to-hand combat, because I like supernatural stuff too. But I've got so much credit at one of my local exchange shops that I need to find something to do with it. So that's why I was like, I wonder if there's maybe some older anime that I could pick up for a little bit of nothing and dip my toe in a little bit just to see if I can find something that I can actually, come to the table with, because right now I'm kind of glazed over, hitting refresh in the chat, hoping that Flynn says something that I can actually respond to.
I know Hell's Paradise. It's pretty dark and hardcore. It reminds me of that Monogatari, where the guy goes on a trip. He's got a thing he's got to do. It's an interesting one. I'm actually quite familiar with that one. Yeah, I've seen a whole breakdown of it. Well, if we could finish it out on one thing, just to shoot a shout out, because we kept talking about it. Me and Bloodaxe did dip our toes in the Exo Primal. Oh. I think we have very different opinions on it. What do you think, Bloodaxe, after your experience with it?
So the tutorial and the first mission, I thought was going to be worse than what it was. So that was pleasant. I got to the point where I can now invite friends, and I stopped waiting on you. But I think with your boy always on your ID, I can never tell if you're actually on your Xbox or somebody else is on your Xbox. I never could invite you to play. But the fact that, from what I remember, this was Saturday, either Friday or Saturday that I was playing. And it said that whether it's PvE or PvP is random. I'm like, oh, no, I don't want random PvP. That's ridiculous. So I'm reserving judgment on the game as a whole, but what I was able to play with the different mechas, I enjoyed. The fact that you're not stuck with one in each class grouping, that I can actually go to the second one along the tier, and you have to unlock some of the other ones. That's I like, because I don't want to be stuck with the base crappy mech with the shield. No, give me the one with the minigun. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I can play with Krieger. Great. Now I saw the one that you want, which is the one you have to unlock, which is with a giant katana. That one looks nice. Yeah, that one looks really good. But the fact that I can play with the guy with the minigun, okay, cool. I'm not stuck with the shield the whole time. Great. And I'd love to just jump on with you to see, can we two-man a team against a squad of 4 or 5 and actually be able to be respectable? That's one thing I'm curious about, but I'm not super stoked about the PvP aspect of it, because I've got a life, I've got a job, and as someone who's salary and I put in 70 hours a week in my job, I can't put forth the effort into being competitive in PvP in a game I'm trying to relax with my boy on. So,
And I can answer those questions. Now, I have a slight different experience because I wanted to find out how it played, so I went into a match. And the PvE is still competitive. It's just you don't get in direct combat. But what it is you're racing another team in PvE to do objectives. If you get that, at least you don't end up in head-to-head combat. In PvP, you're going to actually be straight fighting. That's it. There is no version that's actually playing the game like a campaign or co-op. Everything is a 5-man team, 2 5-man teams, and you're competing. If you lose, you die at the end, and your rewards are reduced. So there's only 2 of us, man. I mean, we might could get Xeno in at best and get 3, but guess what? I had a team where 3 of us were good and 2 of us were bad. We lost. This is the Back for Blood conundrum that we ran into. You remember we played Back for Blood, and we couldn't enjoy the game, even though it wasn't even competitive, because it was mandatory team play, and we would get bad teams, friendly. God, if you put on higher difficulty, there was friendly fire in Back for Blood, remember? Which made it even worse, because then I kept getting shot in the back of the dang hand while I was meleeing. A game in, and dude's got a negative score from shooting me in the butt cheeks. But that PvE element, dude, there were already people that have got the mechs unlocked. They had stuff I'd never seen, ran over us like a Mack truck. I don't have time to learn how to compete, man.
Install it then, because if it's not something I'm going to be able to enjoy casually, I have no interest in it.
There is no just us killing dinosaurs. We will always be competing. There is no non-competitive. There's merely whether you have to fight other players or not. So I figured we'll play some Gears.
Look,
like
man,
after the show.
I installed the game, and then he told me about it, and I uninstalled the game without ever opening it.
Because also, if I'm going to play competitive, there's better games for it.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Bloodaxe. Sorry.
No, I mean, if you're going to play PvP, at least do it against light-skilled combatants. Yeah, I have no interest in playing PvP. If I'm going to play PvP, I'm going to play it on Gears, which is a game I actually know how to bloody play, and I've, have significant time put into. But this game just came out. And so you've already gone up against other PvP players who have mechs and things that's unlocked that you haven't even seen before.
Well, dude, somebody had the Muramasa. And you have to unlock the Muramasa. Somebody already had it, and I was level 1. It was my first effing match. And there's a dude running around with one of the unlocked mechs. That's when I knew. I said, clearly this thing isn't doing any kind of level thing, because this dude has one of the later mechs already. And I'm just looking at it over there like, well, that's going to be a problem. And it was.
Cool. So I'll deinstall it. I haven't wasted a lot of time on it. We can go back and play the new season of Gears. And if we feel froggy, maybe you can help me finish Diablo 4 so I can actually get my horse unlocked.
Well, here's the reason why. Let's also be fair, though. The main reason I uninstalled it, and even Xeno, is that, 1, 4 days, Diablo Season 1 comes out, which we all can play together. Then, about 5 days after that, Remnant 2 comes out, which is also cross-platform. Well, I need to check that. I think it was. We checked it. It's cross-platform and multiplayer.
We checked it a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah,
it was cross-platform.
So, which is co-op, looter-shooter. So, with all these games coming out that do what we want, there's just no reason to play something that doesn't. If I was going to play, what did I tell you? Remember I said, dude, if I was going to play PvP, I'd be playing Naraku Blade Point, because at least that's Kung Fu, fighting team. We get you with your big Zui-hander, man. You give me a katana. At least that's my flow. But shooting a bunch of dinosaurs in a competitive game, I'd rather play that game that we played that was actually PvE. Remember the other dinosaur shooter we played? Final Extinction or something?
Turok?
If it's ready to stay, I'd rather go back to Monster Hunter. At least I could play that. I didn't enjoy it a whole lot, but I could at least play that.
True. I still have Wild Hearts. They put out another monster. No one's playing. It's unfortunate. That did die out fast.
He said Monster Hunter, not
I know.
Wild
I know.
okay.
I could go get the new season. I'm going to say Wild Hearts over Monster Hunter, but yeah, there is the whole summer break or whatever, the one we were waiting on that came out. So, there's other stuff we can play, because at least in Monster Hunter, it's not competitive. We can team up on the monster.
Yeah.
That is true.
And I still keep waiting for the price to go on sale so we can play Dead Island 2.
I will get Dead Island 2 as soon as that sales hits, but with how short it seems to be, and then we have to play it together, or we won't be able to play it together because of the progress rules. So I keep hoping they'll pass that out. They pass that out, that also will help.
Yeah, but I would have bought the game anyway. And I may play through it just to give you an idea of whether or not it's worth you even picking
you can
up.
go ahead and start. I mean, you can make a new character to play with me when I get it. You don't have to wait on me for Dead Island too.
But the fact that I'm still playing the DLC that came out for MechWarrior 5, which I'll be honest, I've had a lot of fun playing that by myself. But when you get on, I'll switch over to Gears at any time. Yeah, you've seen that. And we still got to go after the infected broodmother. I've beat her, but I haven't taken you through to beat her yet. So we still need to put a whooping on her because you haven't popped your cherry on that one yet.
Oh, who now? Oh, yeah, we do need to kill her. You also need to go get your dang renown for the season, buddy, or your feelings gonna be hurt. They carrying the renown over. You need to go do your Diablo, or you're gonna be like, 10 skill points behind?
I've got to finish up the campaign first.
You didn't help him beat the game yet?
No. Xeno helped me blitz through it the other day. He's like 30 minutes from finishing it, though.
Yeah, we got to finish what you start, man.
So that's going to wrap up the show. Thanks for watching, guys. Be sure to check out Dicejunkies.com where you can find links everywhere we are online. Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, Facebook, all that good stuff. Go to your YouTube channel and hit the like, subscribe button, and hit that notification bell so you get alerted whenever we go live or post something up new. Thanks for watching, as every week.